The Rosen Report, sports like never before. Brought to you by Gooch Live and Paramount Sports Management. Here's Rosie.
Good afternoon. It is Tuesday afternoon, and yes, this is not the norm for Rosie. I am not in somewhere in Toronto or Newmarket or in the Mercedes studio, which is kind of broken down. I'm in Gravenhurst, Ontario. I am very fortunate to be in the studio of Brady Leavold and Hockey to Heroin, Hockey to Hell and Back. Everything that Brady's done is right here where I am. I'm at his desk that he does it. He's got a show tonight with Dale Weiss, who played in the NHL for quite a long time. We'll talk about that soon. The wall, the remembrance wall is behind me with some people. Today, we're actually going to dedicate the show to the late Daniel Miner. We were very fortunate, Brady and myself, to talk to his parents last night in Gravenhurst, and today we had lunch with them. What an unbelievable what a great family, and two incredible people who are mourning the loss of their son. And we have to. This is basically we're dedicating the show today to the late Daniel Miner. And my Rosie's rant. We could get today. Gooch is in the background doing the productions. Jordan's still on his way via Montreal from last night, and Gooch will come up soon to chat with us. So there you go, David Carlson. Hello, Paul and Brady and Stuart Smith. This is awesome. Thank you. I love doing it. And yeah, Rosie's around. Today I really want to reach out to people, and I want them to understand what compassion is. I've had a rough go the last couple of weeks, and Brady has been an incredible, like a younger brother. I came up to Gravenhurst, and thank you to Susan for being so incredible. I'm here for a couple of days to regenerate, get my batteries going again. And Brady's been great. We watched the game last night. It's been good to have a friend to talk about recovery and to understand, and then to get a chance to talk to the miners, to have lunch and talk to him, to talk to them, and understand what they're going through. And as recovering addicts like Brady and myself are, this is something where we need compassion in 2021. You don't have to wonder why it happens and why we do what we do, but you really need to be there to say, you know what? I'm going to give you a pat on the back. I'm going to say, can I help you? What can I do? Not why are you doing this, but can I help you? And that's what it's really all about. So take the time, and in 2021, recovering from COVID, let's be compassionate. Let's try to help each other. I'm going to bring in my good buddy, Brady. This is his studio. I'm bringing him into his studio. Brady, what's going on?
Hey, Rose. Good to be here. Thanks for having me. I'm getting choked up hearing you talk about the Miner family because, like you said, it was a great experience, but not one that we wanted to have. But to be able to be there for them and just to listen to them and kind of shed some light about our experience. And, it's just with the reason why I started Pucksport, why I started doing this is to just, remember those that we've lost, but Rosie, also to be there for people who need it. And Tom and Michelle, incredible people. And I think they're watching. So yeah. Hello to them as well. But yeah, just thanks for coming up. And again, thanks to Susan for everything, for opening her doors, not just to me, but to you. And it's been great to hang out with you, man.
What does it mean? We were talking last night in the hotel room, and I had a tough time. I got to be honest with you. I didn't fall asleep till 5 this morning. A lot of triggers, but it's something to me. It's really important. I want to know your opinion. We're both in recovery. You're doing an enormous amount for the community, for the people that are here, and for the people that are gone now. What does it mean to be able to see that thanks and gratitude and gratefulness in the faces of a mother and father who lost their son, when they look at you and say thank you for what you're doing?
Yeah. Rosie, to be honest with you, it's pretty difficult because like I mentioned to you last night when we left, I almost feel guilty for, I wish I could do anything to bring Daniel back, to bring all these individuals back. But like I said to you when I left, I said, just leaving there, it was like, wow. I've been talking to Michelle quite a bit, and got to meet Tom, but also connected with a lot of Daniel's friends, his wife Haley, and his nephew Harper. But after us leaving the hotel last night, Rosie, it was just more. It really hit home where it's like, I don't have an opportunity to ever go back to that life. There's people counting on me now, counting on you. You got to meet them, the miners, to show that there is hope, that people can get better, and to be a small part of their recovery journey through mourning the loss of Daniel. It means everything to me, Rosie.
Yeah, absolutely. And we are going to, we're never going to stop. I will guarantee you, it is an honor to sit beside you, Brady, to see what you're doing. And, I'm 61 years old. I try my best, but when I look at somebody like yourself, much younger than me, with this passion and just determination to get the community to understand what addiction is, and that's the thing that still drives me crazy. Getting people to understand the get the stigma. Like, why do we want? I don't know. Like, I don't even know if we can answer this, but and we were going to talk hockey, and we will soon. But I think this is really important. How do we get people to stop with this blame and going, well, they're just drug addicts. We talk all the time about things we do for others, walking us, seeing a homeless person who's in addiction, giving them a t-shirt or something. How do we get people to stop going like, well, yeah, I would never help them. Look at they can't even help themselves.
Yeah, and that's another great question, Rosie. And we were watching a documentary, and we stopped and rewinded on the quote we heard in this Netflix docu series, and I believe it's, people need love the most when they deserve it the least, and it's never been more true in the case of somebody who's in addiction. And it's not always easy, not for people who are close to the person in addiction, whether it be a parent or a sibling or a friend. It's hard, it's trying, it's exhausting. And we talked about at lunch, it may be even harder for the family than it is for the person going through it. But we listened to Michelle last night talk about how she felt embarrassed to tell people what was going on with Daniel while he was struggling his addiction, because people don't want to talk openly about it. But the reality is that we all know somebody close to us that's going through mental illness or addiction, or both. And I know it was the same for my dad, walking around everywhere, being in the hockey community, being a respected firefighter, just an incredible man. Really embarrassing. He didn't want to talk about it. I didn't leave him any choice because there was headlines in the newspaper and things. But I think, collectively as a community, or as a country, or as just the world in general, just to not even end the stigma, Rosie, but to normalize these things and say, hey, you know what? Just because you're going through something, it's not the end of the road. You're not on your own. People do care. There is hope, and it takes people like yourself and things that I'm doing. And there's several others. I look to guys like Theo Fleury, and there's so many. I want to sit here and name them all, but people have been doing this for a long time, and just showing, little bits of hope, or lots of hope. Sometimes all it takes is just, like you said, patting somebody on the back and lifting them up instead of pushing them when they're down. But it's not always easy to do that.
And it's not just about the hockey community.
Yeah.
We key on the hockey community because we were hockey players, but I want people to understand too, what we're doing is it's going to stretch out to the entire world. Now I want to talk for a second about what you are embarking on, and it just blows me away as I see little things like the puck support, the office, and I'm watching you put together, you and Susan put together the shirts and the shorts, and what you're doing for people with the hope. Next May, and I think it's because I'm here for a couple of days, you kind of backed off your training. Normally he gets up and he gets on his rollerblades and starts going. Next May the 28th, May 28th, 2022, this young man is getting on his rollerblades. Think of this. And he's dipping his rollerblade into the ocean in Newfoundland, and he's starting a journey that is going to change the world. It's going to change the outlook of mental health all around the world, not just in Canada. Talk to us about that journey.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it's a pretty big undertaking, and I'm kind of the type of person that just dives in head first before thinking about things, and that's been kind of half my problem. But at the same time, this is something that I'm going at. I'm taking it in stages. I didn't do anything, Rosie, as you know, for 10 years of addiction and just rusting out, not working out, not skating, not doing anything. The very first time I put my rollerblades on, Rosie, I went 11K. I came back here, I collapsed in the couch. I looked at Susan. I said, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this, Rosie, like, or to Susan. And I'm like, wow, like, but things have progressed, and I do need to ramp it up even more. But at the same time, it's a building process. We now have a training plan and a nutrition plan that we're going to roll out here over the next week to 10 days. But it's been fun, man, getting on my skates again. But it's not about me. It's about the bigger picture and about getting out there and connecting with people, showing people that there's hope. It doesn't matter how far down you go. If you're willing to, reach out, ask for help when you need to, also be there for others when they need you to be, because we can't just focus on ourselves all the time. But yeah, it's going to be fun. And I'm from the same town as Terry Fox, and I don't ever belong to be in the same conversation as Mr. Fox, as I call him. He'd probably be like, Mr. Fox is my dad. But Terry was always a huge inspiration to me. So we're finishing in Port Coquitlam, which I'm really excited about. I get teary-eyed thinking about it, because I haven't been home in like 4 years. So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And I just encourage anybody that wants to come out and support in any way, or just come say hi if you want to, rollerblade or bike, or, come whatever, stop me, talk, share your stories, because we're planning events along the way, which I'm sure you'll be a part of, Rosie.
Yeah, I know Gooch, who's producing now. Gooch and myself, we will definitely be a part of it. And it's quite Terry Fox is my hero, both being amputees, and Terry Fox starting in Newfoundland, ending unfortunately in Thunder Bay. What are we looking at kilometer wise? Like, Canada is a massive, massive, massive landmass. So you're going from Newfoundland and ending in BC, where you were born. What are we looking at kilometer wise?
Yeah, it's about 7,200 kilometers, so 7,200. And yeah, it's going to be.
And that's not driving 7,000 kilometers, ladies and gentlemen. That's rollerblading. So if you're watching the show, after the show, you want to get out there, put your blades on, go for a little scoot, mile, quarter kilometer, go a kilometer, go two, and go, oh my God, I'm really tired. And then think about what this guy, Brady Leavold, is going to do. 7,000 rough kilometers across this. And I'm just guessing that not all of it's going to be beautiful pavement.
No, I can count on that for sure. And luckily there's some good roads to train on here that are filled with potholes. And I'm very fortunate to be partnered with True Temper Hockey, which, man, I'm trying to hold back tears on this episode, Rosie. But, when you think about where I was not too long ago, less than 2 years ago, I was behind bars, and not for a short period of time either. I was in a severe addiction and no connection to hockey. And now, I have arguably one of the best hockey companies behind me, and I'm just very grateful to be where I'm at. And this is every single stride, every step of the way will be in memory of all of these individuals. And unfortunately, they're not even all on this wall yet, because there's more that I need to add one every podcast. But that's what it's about. It's about these men and women, in some case, young boys, tragically, but and for all those who struggle. But yeah, it's going to be a big undertaking, but I'm really looking forward to getting out there and just connecting with people.
Yeah. And I'm just going to tell everybody, if you're watching here, this is true emotion. I've been up here. I got here yesterday. I drove from Newmarket. I got here around noon, and Brady and I, and we've known each other for over a year, through text, through email, through talking on the phone, in person for about 20 minutes. About 4 months ago, we met at a gas station. But I'm telling you, this last 24 hours that I've had the opportunity to connect with Brady, there's no bowl in these tears. There's no bowl I'm one of the. This is true emotion right from the heart, and this is what you get when you get an addict who is in recovery, who wants to help other people. I love this guy like a brother, man. He has helped me. I don't even think he has a clue how much he's helped me recover in the last 24 hours, because I wasn't feeling that great. So if you can do something, reach out and help somebody, whether it's Brady, myself, or anybody. Reach out and help somebody, or ask for help. We're alive today. Unfortunately, Daniel's not, but I am. Brady is. Why? Because we finally asked for help and decided to receive it, and not just say, no. we decided to receive it. And by that, we started to give. And everybody can. To me, the easiest thing in the world is to tell somebody they can't do it. The toughest but most rewarding thing is to put your arm around somebody and show them how. Don't tell them, but show them. So we'll get into lots of different things as we go on in next year, leading up to Brady leaving on May the 28th. But let's. I'm holding it off better than when you are. I've got the tears internally. I haven't let them out. I let them out in my room privately last night. But I love your emotion, brother, and I am so proud to be your friend. Let's talk some hockey now. Let's lighten it up a little and talk some hockey. We watched that game last night on the couch, and I'm telling you, I was texting Jordan in Montreal and the Gooch in Richmond Hill back and forth, and we are watching it. You, me, and Susan, and leading up to overtime. What were your thoughts on the Canadiens?
Honestly, as you and Susan predicted, they were going to win in overtime, and I said no way. I thought that even before the penalty, I thought that they were gonna just something was gonna happen, and then when that penalty, Shea Weber takes just an unfortunate penalty, trying to, he's playing hard hockey this whole playoff. Never mind last night was, he's just a hard nosed old Kelowna Rocket that I've had the chance of meeting, and a great guy. But seeing that penalty, seeing their captain in the box, could have been very deflating, but their penalty kill has been fantastic this playoff. But I thought there was no chance they were winning that game, as I told you.
Hey, speaking as a veteran, you played a lot of years of hockey, and definitely, I think the Western Hockey League is the toughest to get through. The Q and the O, great hockey. The Canadian Hockey League is incredible, whether in the Q, the O, or the W. But the W's got a little more toughness to it. What would it have been like if you would have seen, whether you're on the bench or on the ice, your captain in that situation, heart and soul guy, he's in the box. What was Shea Weber thinking? Like, oh my God, if they score this goal to win the Stanley Cup, what is the crowd going to think? Like, go into his mind for us.
Yeah, I mean, if that's me, as I was watching him quite closely, you could see the emotion on his face. There was times when he couldn't even look up; he just wanted to look down. He's probably praying to a higher power, whether it's God or somebody. Maybe that's, sometimes people only do that in desperate situations, but that was certainly a desperate situation. I don't know what his faith is like or anything like that, but you could just see him holding on for dear life, and it was tough. It was tough to watch, and it's probably even tougher for him to be in here there, knowing he's their number one, number two PK defenseman, and the coach is going, man, like, we need this guy on the ice. And I'm sure when that penalty kill, it wasn't just 2, it was a 4. I'm sure when he got out of the box, it was a huge sigh of relief. And obviously when Anderson gets that big goal, it was, all over and done with. But kudos to the Montreal Canadiens for sticking around. And who knows what can happen, Rosie?
Yeah, we're going to talk about this. I'm going to bring Gooch live to talk to us, get his thoughts on this in a couple of minutes. But we were watching it last night. I'm telling you, Susan, you talk about some passion in a fan. She was like, this is Harry Sinden's niece, and the great Harry Sinden, been around the Boston Bruins organization for a million years, with the GM of the '72 team that won it all in against Russia. She had some passion, and she was screaming at Duchamp, going like, "Why do you not have Suzuki and Cofield and Anderson on the ice more?" Can you answer that? They came up big on 2 goals, but I didn't think they played enough. Can Duchamp understand that and get them in the lineup as much as possible in Game 5 in Tampa?
I've been saying this since the first series when they beat Toronto. Like, I'm going. I made a video. I was like, there's no way Montreal actually thinks they're going to win the cup. It was the first series, they were down, 2-1, I think at the time, or 2-0, whatever it was. And I made a video and I said, listen, you have Cole Caulfield here. He's a young guy. He's playing well. He's going to make mistakes. Let him make mistakes this year, because you're not going to win the cup. And then next year he'll be ready, and give him that opportunity. And obviously they've continued to prove me wrong. But I did say there's always a chance, I did say that. But look what he's done. Without Cole Caulfield, without Carey Price, the Montreal Canadiens aren't even in this conversation, in my opinion. And then, you go back to, I believe it was Game 3, there was a 4-on-3 power play, and Cole Caulfield wasn't even on the ice on a 4-on-3, 4-versus-3. They had a power play. And I'm looking at the TV going like, here's all this wide open space. This is what this kid does. This is where he makes his living. This is where he shines. And why isn't he on the ice? But, I'm not saying that I could do a better job as a coach, but there's certain questions. You look at Anderson's playing time. I think he had the lowest minutes played in a game last night. And why? Like, he hasn't been putting the puck in the net like he should have. He got 2 last night, but keep him going. He's out there. He's working his bag off, and he's going to get rewarded as he did last night. I mean, I get it. You have your Denos and your shutdown guys, but I feel like they've been too focused on trying to shut Tampa down than worrying about just going out there and playing and saying, hey, what's going to happen? Because we can't hang with these guys. We can shut them down when they need to, but let the forwards go. Let the guys like Caulfield go. Let Anderson go. You got a chance, go. Don't play safe. When you play safe, in my opinion, my experience, things tend to kind of fall apart. And that's what I've seen in the last few games. And last night was a much better game, though.
Yeah, absolutely. One last thing on a funny note, before we bring Gooch up and get his opinion on a couple things, because I disagree. I agree with him on some things, disagree on one thing that we talked about last night. We're going to talk about that for a second on pressure. We disagree on who the pressure is on. I think the pressure is on Montreal. He thinks the pressure is on Tampa. We'll talk about that in a second. Last night, we're watching the press conferences after the game, and he's got his name there, but he's not up. They're talking to Anderson. And people are probably, where is he? And you made the funniest comment. You said he's not there yet because
he didn't have his pizza there. I really believe it's been an ongoing joke, and he is, as hockey players are so superstitious. I would guarantee you he would rather take a fine and not show up for that interview or be late for it. And wait for his pizza because after a win, he feels good or whatever. You're not breaking that, especially this far into a deep playoff run. There was I was like right away, that's why he's not there. That's why he's there. He's waiting to have his piece of pizza, which it's been funny. And, it's nice to see that side of hockey players. I think we forget that these are just human beings that put on equipment and they're just going out and they're really playing a game. And sometimes, as fans, as people, we take a game way too seriously. We put pressure on these guys, but at the end of the day, they still have their own superstitions, their own mental health issues, all of that. So, I mean, it's fun to see guys in that light, but without question, that has to be the reason. I think it was because he didn't have pizza.
I agree with him. The one thing, please, people, fans, understand one thing that, you want them to win badly, but they are human beings. They're making a lot of money, but this is not an easy. Chuck Bassing trying to read this says, Rosie,
speak close to the mic.
Into the mic. Okay, I will try that. And remember, I'm normally in the Mercedes running down studio. I've never been in an actual incredible production like we have here with Brady and the puck support. Make sure you wouldn't miss. Okay. Anyways,
I turned up your mic, Rosie. You're good to go.
We're trying our best here. I got a grade 9 education, so I'm doing the very best I can. Chuck, I know you've got years and years of professor skills behind you. Anyways, hey Gooch, you want to come up so we can argue for a couple of minutes here?
There's no argument.
Did Basti throw a jab at me, or was he being nice?
No, actually, I put on the right-hand side, Paul. Okay. You're going in and out because of the mic, obviously. Thank you for that, Brady. I don't think it was a jab. People just want to hear that beautiful voice of yours.
Let's not get crazy. Okay, so listen, we disagreed last night in a respectful disagreement. You seem to think that the pressure now is on Tampa. I think it's still on Montreal. Tell us why it's on Tampa.
Listen, as we've seen throughout these playoffs, you can never count out the Montreal Canadiens, and I think the lineup changes that I thought maybe should have came in Game 3, he made in Game 4. Anderson on that kid line now, wow, what a difference we saw in it. Yes, it's only one game. It gave Carey Price to get back to be the Carey Price that he is. He now has the full feeling of, because there was doubter. I don't know if you guys saw it, but there was actually people asking to go back to Jake Allen, which just didn't make any sense to me whatsoever. So the reason why I believe that it's the pressure goes on to Tampa Bay. Brady, you've been in these type of games where you got to close out Game 4. They haven't had this opportunity throughout these playoffs, except when they played the New York Islanders. I just believe that the Montreal Canadiens have that special feeling going on right now. And with Carey Price being as sharp as he was last night, and the Tampa Bay didn't shut it down, having that 4 minute, obviously a minute and 30 at the end of the game, and 2 minutes and 30 seconds into overtime. By not shutting it down, they opened the door a bit, and we all know as pros, you keep that door open, somebody's going to come through it, and that's what Anderson did.
I actually hope you're right, and I hope I'm wrong, because the only way Montreal can win it now is in 7. And like an idiot, I said Montreal in 7, and you guys all said Montreal in 6, which it would be great if they can. I honestly, I'm going to ask both of you guys here, first Brady and then you, Gooch. Do you honestly think that Montreal can win this in 7, Brady?
Yeah, I mean, it's no question that to win in 7, you have to win the next game. But if they're able to win this next game and bring it back to Montreal, I really think that you can get Tampa on their heels. I do believe it's a bit of a long shot, Rosie. I don't think Carey Price has been nearly good enough. I'm sure he's tired. He's hurt. I played against him. I played with him. Best goalie I ever shot against, period. There's no question. But I mean, he did look a lot better last night, but they're going to need more from everybody, every single player. And it started to happen last night. You see one of their 6D, score a big goal for them, and just little contributions like that, just throw the puck at the net, because Vasilevsky to me is the best goalie in the world. And right now, anyways, he's just on a whole nother level of focus. Like, his eyes he's so engaged, and he sees, if he sees it, he's going to stop it. But I think it's always possible, man. Where there's a will, there's a way. And Montreal, they got a little bit of life in them, and we've seen them come back from 3-1 against Toronto, with the same kind of firepower. So don't count them out, but it's going to be hard going into Tampa.
It could happen. Gooch, before you say whether they can or not, it just reminded me of one thing when we were watching, and we were going nuts at the TV, and Susan, you talk about somebody with passion. She was screaming at the TV. Do you remember when they had that, when there was the 3 guys in each, 3 Canadians, 3 Tampa in the box, and it was coincidental. So now they're going, okay, the penalties are over, but we need to get a whistle. And 2 of the 3 were Montreal Canadian defensemen. They only are playing with 2D, and it was 4 minutes without a whistle. Yeah. As a coach, you've coached. I haven't coached. I don't think. Have you coached? Not really.
At a minor level.
Okay, yeah. So you've coached overseas. Good. Would you not be screaming at your guys to get a whistle?
Well, I don't think you even have to scream at these guys. These are all pro hockey players. It'd be like if the defenseman loses the stick, what does the forward do in their zone? They give the stick up. So they should have automatically realized, let's get a whistle in some way. If it's down by our net, just put it into Carey Price, let him hold it. There's no question. I think it's the emotions that come from the game. That's one of the things where, Brady, you played with pro guys. They need to know that within themselves. They don't need a coach yelling that out. So I think that was definitely a mistake. And then we saw Kulak give up that, did the pinch, which he didn't need to do. And of course, Pat Maroon, who really wants to get that 3rd one in a row, scored a very important goal to tie it up with 3 or 4 minutes to go. I want to go to the fact that you mentioned something about Montreal being there before. I think that's really important. Like, a lot of people are saying, well, Tampa's been there before. They know how to close this out. The difference is, though, they're playing a team that just in these playoffs have been down 3-1, and everybody counted them out also. And then Torrey Perry walked in there and did, the garbage can stick and said, this is how we got to play. You saw that last night, the way Anderson, Caulfield, and Suzuki played. You just saw a new life. And this is a team that's playing behind the 8 ball. Their defense is not even close to the Tampa Bay Lightning, but they're playing at a level that's far beyond their capacity. And the only thing that's going to get them is going to be fatigue. And what we saw for Shea Weber, you saw the leadership, not from just Shea Weber, but everybody on that bench that said, not tonight. You're not doing it to our captain. He's brought us here. He's helped us get us here. We're not going to allow you to score. And that was probably the finest penalty killing you've seen. But I want to just say, and you guys can both agree, How great is that power? Though they didn't score, I think it was the second period, they put on a show. It was like men against boys, or, it was almost like the Harlem Globetrotters, the Tampa Bay power play. It was like unbelievable. It was like going out in a soccer field with a bunch of kids and all the adults. Hey, kids, try and get this ball.
Yeah, the one
Compliment.
thing, 100%, the way they move the puck around is unbelievable. Hey, last thing before I let you go,
Yes, sir.
tomorrow night, because you have a show tomorrow, I would think.
Yes, we do.
Talking
Yeah,
about,
absolutely.
get your thoughts. I'm going to say that tomorrow night, Montreal will win. I don't want to curse the Canadiens, so please don't throw things at me. I'm going to say the Montreal Canadiens are going to win 3-2 and bring it back to Montreal for Game 6. Brady?
Yeah, I'll take Montreal 2-1.
Here we go.
Gooch, thoughts?
I'm gonna go with 4-2 empty net for Montreal. I just think they have the ability to do it. They've done it. I think I just want to do a shout out to my buddy Clive Connolly, all the way from Melbourne, Australia. He believes in the Montreal Canadiens. So I'm going with everybody. David Turek, all of them. And Sandra, of course, going, go Habs, go. So all three of us are going to pick Montreal. Let's see who can come out. I'm saying 4-2. Carey Price is going to stand on his head. And Josh Anderson has got that feeling of winning. And I think he's going to get a couple again tomorrow night.
You always go with the empty netter. You almost every prediction you say there's going to be an empty net goal.
Well, there's always going to be an empty net because these have been so close. Listen, it's going to be 2-1. So you know what? Somebody's pulling their goalie. If it's 2-1, 3-2, they're pulling the goalie. The chances of them scoring an empty netter is very, very high, especially in the intensity of the playoffs. And I just think, listen, you have, but I'm going to run with this and let's see if I finally get an empty netter.
Well, hopefully they'll win Game 5 and we can get a Game 6, because if it ends tomorrow night, what are we going to – there's no hockey now.
There'll be soccer, I think, Sunday. I'll be watching the basketball tonight. Yes, I agree with you. And you know what? There's two Canadians in the semifinals of Wimbledon, so I guess I'll have to watch some tennis.
That is true. We'll do something like that. But anyways, hopefully we can all agree that we want the cup to come back to Canada. Montreal has to do it by winning Game 5 and then worrying about Game 6. Gooch, thanks for jumping on and giving us your 2 thoughts. And let's all watch. Is it Gooch at 4 tomorrow? Is it lunch?
4 o'clock. Hey, guys, I want to thank you for the front part of the show. Obviously, what both of you guys are doing for people that suffer with addiction, obviously with disabilities. You and Bart do a great job. Barco do a great job, obviously, with the journey. And what you do is masterful. Brady, obviously, what you're doing to help people that can't help themselves, or now, of course, parents that are dealing with it. My hat is tipped off to both of you. Thanks for doing what you guys do.
Thanks, Gooch.
See you, boys.
Talk soon. Yep. Okay, so let's end this on a note that I'm sticking around till tomorrow. So at 8 o'clock tonight, I am going to be sitting off to the side watching your show. Talk about your show tonight and how people can watch and who you got on, because he's one of my favorites.
Yeah, Hockey to Hell and Back, YouTube, Facebook. Excited to have Dale Weiss on, former Swift Current Bronco teammate, longtime NHL right winger, great guy. And we were supposed to do a podcast like a year ago and we just never made it happen. And, tonight is the night, and I'm super pumped to get Weasel on the show, as we call him. And, it's funny because when you see a guy like that, I'm going to ask him right off the hop, like, when we played together, did you envision playing in the NHL for, like 10 seasons? And he's off to Sweden next year. He took the year off, kind of at the tail end of his career, and which can be tough, but by no means has his career been anything but great. I mean, he's been able to just carve out just an incredible pro hockey career. And he's now doing a lot of stuff in real estate, and he's got a beautiful family. And, it's going to be really nice to connect with him after it's been, I guess, 13, 14 years, Rosie, since we played together. So it's going to be lots of fun. So 8 o'clock tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, YouTube and Facebook, Hockey to Hell and Back.
I will be watching off to the side. I will not be on camera. I'll be watching off to the side. But you know what? I'm thinking about it. he might be the perfect guy, Dale Weiss. Gooch, I know you're watching here. He might be the perfect guy to be on the tour playing for Canada as opposed to playing for the States. Canada against USA. We're coming back. The Ice Hockey Classic is coming back in 2022 to Australia and New Zealand. Gooch, if you got the ears open here, maybe we can figure out a way to get Dale Weiss coming down and playing for Team Canada. I need all the help I can get. Like, I lose one more time, I'm done. I will never go behind the bench as long as I live. So let's think about that. And Brady, honestly, thank you so much for the last 24 hours, giving me the opportunity to recharge my batteries, to get out here and not worry about anything but my recovery, and have a chance to talk and joke around. We were at the Shoppers Drug Mart this afternoon, and my car door broke, and who was there to help me? Brady Leavold.
Yeah, I got lucky on that one, I think, Rosie. Well, let's tell the full story. We couldn't figure it out in the parking lot, so I had to drive in the back seat and hold the door on the way here. But as soon as we pulled in the driveway, we figured it out. Door shut. It's not broken. But always a pleasure, man. And once again, thanks to Susan. Wish it was a little bit easier to feed you now that you're a vegan, but you're not starving, so that's all that matters. But keep up the great work, not only just on this show, but with our friend Brad and the Journey on Sunday nights as well. And I'm just super proud of you, buddy.
Thanks, man. Salad and potatoes. I'm doing it. Hey, listen, another show this year. This show coming to you from Gravenhurst. It is gorgeous. You get a chance to come up to Muskoka, Gravenhurst. It is a beautiful part of Ontario, Canada, and the world. Thank you again to Brady Leavold. What a just incredible young man. Taking recovery to another level. People out there, they're doing things, but this guy is doing it at a world-class level. I cannot wait to see what's next for him. I cannot wait to be along with the journey when he starts in Newfoundland, May 28th, 2022, and Rollerblades for Mental Health, helping everybody. Once again, to the Miner family, thank you so much for just being open to listen. And the memory, this show, the Rosen Report from Gravenhurst, to the memory of the beautiful Daniel Miner. God bless.
You've been listening to the Rosen Report, sports like never before, with your host, Rosie. Brought to you by Gooch Live and Paramount Sports Management.